Ladies and mighty gentlemen, today we're going to talk about Demon Hunters, more specifically about the Demon Hunter hero class in World of Warcraft, and whether or not other races have the right to join this class. Now, as we all know, currently in Legion, Demon Hunters can only be Night Elf for the Alliance and Blood Elf for the Horde, but there's evidence in past lore that suggests that other races have dipped their toe in the dark art of demon hunting. So in this video, we're going to look at some information which has been buried in the Warcraft archives for over 13 years in some cases, and at the end, you're going to take to the comments and tell me how wrong I am about everything. So without further ado, let's begin. So our first piece of evidence comes in the form of an extract in the 2004 book Alliance and Horde Compendium, which is the source book for the Warcraft RPG. Now this book covers a whole ton of old school lore, including history and information on some of the classes and races of the Warcraft universe, but the section we're focusing on is the part which covers the Demon Hunter. Now this part of the book talks about the history of the class and some of their skills, but interestingly enough, under the section that says race, it says that Blood Elf, Night Elf or humans can be Demon Hunter. But the real question of this page lies below these words in the picture of the Night Elf. Why on earth are her trousers so damn tight? Or in fact, is she even wearing any for that matter? Now, more evidence of humans having a history of becoming demon hunters can be found in the 2006 book Lands of Mystery, which is one of 5 volumes which covers Brand Bronzebeard's journey around the world after the events of the Frozen Throne. Now, in the section of the book that covers Mount Hyjal, he talks about people and culture of Mount Hyjal, and this is what it says. 3 important groups form the bulk of the people of Mount Hyjal. The first are the Night Elves, humans, and others who steadfastly guard the World Tree against future attacks. These demon hunters are some of the most experienced and powerful adventurers in the world, and rightfully so. Most of them either fought in the battle for Mount Hyjal in the Third War, or otherwise have considerable experience tracking down and destroying demons. So from a lore perspective, it seems that humans do indeed have a history with the Demon Hunter class. But in game, implementing humans as demon hunters wouldn't be as easy as just enabling this option in a random patch. It probably needs some backstory and lore behind the reasoning of the humans practicing the art of demon hunting. And also, players who play Horde would also be pretty butthurt at the fact that the Alliance get 2 choices of demon hunter races, which is where I have thought of a possible solution to this problem. One thing that could potentially happen is that when a player chooses an Orc as a demon hunter, it could automatically make that Orc into a Fel Orc. Now, Fel Orcs have been a part of the Illidari ever since Illidan invaded Outland, and as you all know, Black Temple is filled with Fel Orcs, and it wouldn't be a massive stretch to implement these as a second option for the Horde to roll a Demon Hunter. Obviously, they'd have to make some sort of new lore involving Fel Orcs joining the Horde, but if they can have Worgens in the Alliance, obviously anything's possible in World of Warcraft these days. So the process of becoming a Demon Hunter isn't actually something that is race related though. Becoming a Demon Hunter actually requires Demon Hunter training. Now this is what we know about the training, taken from a 2016 novel called World of Warcraft Illidan. It says, the training begins with the person slaying a demon, eating its heart, and drinking its blood. The spirit of the ingested demon bonds with them, and from this bond, the demon hunter receives visions of the Burning Legion destroying countless worlds across the universe. In the horror at this sight, they tear their own eyes out, which usually puts them in a coma. The fell power infusing their body after the ingestion of the demon's heart and blood causes the demon hunter to mutate, gaining demonic features such as scales, horns, or claws. After the demon hunter awakens and their spectral sight begins to take effect, they are given tattoos which keep their inner demon from overwhelming them, but it's still always there, talking to them and trying to get them to turn to the Legion. Arcane energies counter the Fel energies, thus they mark their body with arcane runes to keep the Fel forces in check. They do this in order to not become the demons themselves. Demon hunters have a constant craving for Fel power and demonic flesh, and they live constantly in torment from the sacrifices they've made. Some succumb to the overbearing power of the Fel energy and lose all control of themselves. Their blood begins to burn, and they unwillingly take on their demon form before lashing out at any nearby living beings. So from that, it makes you think that races that experiment with arcane and Fel energies do have a potential of joining the demon hunter ranks. So that would be any race that could be warlocks and mages. So that would add human, dwarf, gnomes, and worgens for the Alliance, and orcs, undead, trolls, and goblins for the Horde, which would make the class available to 5 races on each side, which would make it a best case scenario for people wanting to play Demon Hunter on a non-elf race. I guess Blizzard could go and try and explain each additional race to the class, but they didn't really explain much when they added the new race-class combinations in Cataclysm. Personally, I'd love to see gnomed demon hunters. Just look how damn cute they are when they're attacking. It's a thing of beauty. But maybe having gnomes would possibly ruin the credibility of such a badass combat class. Another piece of evidence that it possibly might happen in the future comes from a Q&A with Ian Hazakostas and Jesse Cox from way back in May of 2016 when they were discussing Legion just before it went into beta. So here's the clip.
Will there ever be a time in the future where other races will be demon hunters? / panda demon hunters? Hashtag panda demon hunters. Make it happen. I want Pandarian demon hunters. Little cute, but
we'll see.
Murderers.
Anything's possible. I mean, I think
Thank you for placating me.
Anything is possible.
Anything
but yeah, I
possible.
mean, so historically, we actually that was actually like a core question. Like, is it okay to only have one race available? And it was like, well, lore would dictate that only elves can be demon hunters because it wouldn't make sense for anything else to be. We kind of went back and forth on that for a while of like, should we go with the lore justification for this? And ultimately, I think we did, because I think where it came down initially was that for anyone who had a picture of a demon hunter in their mind, anyone who wanted to play demon hunter, the first thing your mind goes to is something like Illidan. That's the silhouette that you've seen. That's what demon hunter has been represented as. And so that's kind of the thing we wanted to deliver. Now, in the future, with demon hunters out in the wild, there's nothing that says that they couldn't instruct other races in those arts, through those rituals, in those skills. That would be something that would happen going forward, potentially.
Now, I've got to agree with Jesse on this one. Although the idea sounds ridiculous, Panda and Demon Hunters would be a great addition, especially with how mobile they are as monks, and it really just fits right in. And they'd also look really good with the green shiny tattoos. And that's it really. I'm sure there's tons more arguments for and against other races becoming demon hunters, but I think it'll be an ongoing debate for years to come. Also, please do let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on Blizzard possibly adding new races for demon hunters in the future. Now, to be honest, we all know it's going to happen eventually, much like Horde Paladins and Alliance Shamans from way back when, and things like Blood Elf Warriors that we thought we'd never see. I'd also love to know what your thoughts are on this type of video, and if you'd be interested in seeing more random discussions of all sorts of topics related to all versions of World of Warcraft. So leave a like if you liked the video, and subscribe if you haven't. And with that guys, I'll see you next time.